Hello students, in this video we shall study about Newton's second law of motion. Already we studied Newton's first law of motion, which was talking about a term called inertia. And what is inertia? Inertia is the tendency of the body to remain in the same state. If it is at rest, the body will be at rest. If it is in motion, it will continue moving in constant or uniform velocity. This was studied by Galileo. Now, I want to explain what do you mean by inertia. Inertia, we say, it's just again an abstract term. But what is that inertia? On what does that it depend on? So, let me say for example, I have a car. Okay, and I have a car and I apply a force, let us say F. You know, force is measured in Newton, and I said that you can write with capital N as a single letter. Suppose I apply 1000 Newton force on this car. One is a car I am taking, and another I am going to take a large truck. Okay, you know, truck is very heavy. Okay, so I take a truck and I am going to apply the same force of 1000 Newton. See, I have got two objects here. One is a car and another is a truck. Now, which is having more mass? Weight. It is not actually weight, it is mass, amount of substance. The car is having a small mass, m, maybe it may be 1000 kilogram. Okay, and a truck might be having a mass equal to 5000 kilogram. Right? Now, which will you require more force to move it, to change its states? Forget about even applying the force. Which will require more force for the body to move? Car is less mass, so it can move with less force. But can a truck move with a less force? No, I need to increase the force here. So, the tendency of the body, the inertia is depending on what? It depends on the mass of the body. More the mass, more the inertia. That is the first thing. Less the mass, less the inertia. More, the body is more heavy, to push it is very difficult. But the body is small body and less weight, less mass, then it is easy to change the state. The same with your body. For a car is traveling with a particular speed and a truck is traveling with the same speed, which will require more power to apply the brakes to stop it. Which will require? The car will require less force to stop, whereas the truck will require more force to stop the body. So, inertia, that is, it depends on the mass of the body. First factor is, it depends on the mass of the body. Okay, now let us take this one side. Let me remove this now. Yes, now let me take the same again, car and truck only. Now, I apply again a force of F. Okay, I apply a force of 1000 Newton. And the car is going to travel with a velocity v, let us say, right? Some velocity v. Now, I apply the same 1000 Newton force to the truck. Will it have same velocity? Suppose the velocity is, let us say, 50 meter per second. Do you think when I apply the force of 1000 Newton, the truck will move with the same velocity 50 meter per second? No, it is not possible. It will go with a little smaller velocity, maybe 20 meter per second. Why? Why? Because the mass is more. So the mass is more and the speed will be less for the same force. Now, inertia depends on another factor, that is called velocity, right? If you want more velocity, less velocity, again that is also depends on mass. So you need not worry about it. Inertia depends on mass of the body. A heavier body will require more force. A lighter body will require less force. So, what do we understand from this? When we apply a force, two things come into a fact. One is mass of the body, another is velocity. See, when you apply a force, naturally, why do we apply a force? We apply a force to move a body or to stop a body. So, whenever a body is moving or stopping, you talk about speed or you talk about velocity in a particular direction. So, mass and velocity are very important concept for Newton's second law. So, now I am going to tell you what is the factor that connects mass and velocity together. That I am going to tell you. What is that word called, which is going to be connecting the mass of the body and the velocity. Okay, now let me just tell you. That is called momentum. Momentum. See, you may wonder, again, what is the momentum? Momentum is mass of the body multiplied by the velocity with which it is traveling, and that is called momentum, and the symbol of momentum is small p, right? So, small p is equal to mass into velocity, or we can say simply small p is equal to m into v, and this is called momentum. Now, why does momentum come into play? Because of inertia, because of the Newton's first law, because of Galileo's the concept of the body being at rest or uniform motion. So, mass is coming, and when you apply a force, naturally velocity will be there, if the body will move. So, we connect these two factors together, mass and velocity, and that is called momentum. Now, let me take a body here, a ball. The mass of the ball is m, and the ball comes here, the same ball is coming here, and the same mass is m here, right? And the body is moving from here, and it is going like this to the next place, right? That is changed its position. Let us say the initial velocity of the body is u. Maybe it is at rest. Then what will be the initial velocity? 0, right? And the body, I apply a force here, I kick the body. I kick the ball, then I apply a force. Then the body starts moving, and the initial velocity is u and the final velocity is v. Okay, so we will first find out what is the initial momentum in that case. See, initial momentum is mass into velocity. So, initial momentum P initial is equal to initial value, that is equal to m into u. This is the initial momentum, the product of mass and velocity. And what is the final momentum? P final, that is equal to mass into small v. That is the final momentum. Now, what is the unit of momentum? Tell me, what is the unit of mass? Mass is kilogram. And what is the unit of velocity? Meter per second. So, simply the unit is kg meter per second. Okay, you don't have a simple term for that. So, you keep it clear in your mind now. I apply a force to a body of mass m, which is having an initial velocity u, right? And when the force is applied, the body moves through a distance, let us say, I can say a distance s, and it takes time t to go from this point to this point, and at that point the velocity is v. So, this is called initial velocity, and this is final velocity, and mass into velocity, that is here the final momentum. Now, we are going to connect all these two together, right? This initial momentum, final momentum, all this we will connect it to them together. Okay, let us see how it goes. Yeah, see, I apply a force on the body. Okay, I apply the force on the body. Now, what is the connection for this force between these things? We say the force is equal to, what is the change in momentum? Change in momentum. Okay, there is a change in momentum. But with respect to what it takes place? With respect to time. Okay, so divided by the time taken for the change, in momentum. We can say change in momentum. Well, how do you calculate change? I have now with me 50 rupees, and after the end of the class I have, let us say, 200 rupees. There is a change. 50 and it becomes 200. What is the change? 200 minus 50, that is 150. So final minus initial will give you the change, right? So I can say P final minus P initial divided by, what is the time taken? Some time taken, T we have taken, that is equal to, I write that there. Okay, now we can erase this part also. Okay, when I erase this now, what I am going to do? I am going to make a substitution. Okay, mass into velocity, final velocity, minus mass into initial velocity divided by the time taken is T. Yes, the next step, what we will do? Common is mass, take the mass out, V minus U whole divided by T. Yes, I come here now. F is equal to m into V minus U divided by T. What is this change in velocity upon time? Change in velocity upon time, that is nothing but acceleration. So that is mass into acceleration, that is F, right? And that is the formula. F is equal to ma. F is equal to ma, mass into acceleration, because change in velocity upon time is equal to acceleration. So I have taken and substituted for that, right? So this is what we learn in small classes. Simply we say, because you will not be able to understand change in momentum and all these things. So we just introduced a simple way. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. F is equal to ma. F is equal to ma, where m is mass and a is acceleration. Now, when you come to 9th standard, we say that force is rate of change of momentum. What do you mean by the word rate? In physics, you mean rate means with respect to time. That is called rate. So we can write the force as rate of change of momentum. Okay. So Newton's second law, right? Newton's second law is about force and acceleration and change in momentum. In 9th standard, we say force is rate of change of momentum. Also in 11th. In 11th, what we say? We don't say equal. We use the word proportional. We say first proportional and afterwards we make it equal with saying a constant k is equal to 1. So nothing to worry. You can take the same thing in the starting point itself. Nothing to worry. In 11th, it just gets little word change. Otherwise, remember, Newton's second law is about force and change in momentum. So Newton's second law states that the force applied on the body is equal to rate of change of momentum, and it acts in the direction of the force applied. The change in momentum is in the direction of the force we apply, and this is the Newton's second law of motion. Now with this, I will define 1 Newton. With that, we will complete this video, right? In this video, I would like to introduce a small concept about Newton, and then we will complete this video, right? So we can take the formula F is equal to mass into acceleration. How do we define now force? Force we say is 1 Newton is equal to 1 kilogram into 1 acceleration is what? Meter per second square. So how do we define now? Newton, 1 Newton is the force applied on a body of 1 kilogram produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square. Very simple. 1 unity. Keep it as unity. Why? Because if I apply 1 Newton force on a body of 1 kilogram, it will produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second square, and that is how we define Newton. So now I completed Newton's second law. This is the syllabus for 9th as well as 11th. Already I have short videos for 11th standard, right? And this is for simpler way. I have done it for 9th. So both 9th and 11th can benefit from this video. In the next video, I will teach you Newton's third law. And then we will do some numericals and study some applications like the propulsion of a rocket, right? Thank you so much.